This is every color belt pattern in ITF Taekwondo explained. Chon-Ji. Chon-Ji is the first pattern in ITF Taekwondo. It has 19 movements and literally means the heaven, the earth. It is the Orient, interpreted as the creation of the world or the beginning of human history. Therefore, it is the initial pattern played by the beginner. The pattern consists of two similar parts, one to represent the heaven and the other to represent the earth. Chon-Ji has the basic diagram A, B, C, and D. Chon-Ji is the name of the lake where Dangun first took residence in Korea. Chon-Ji is a simple pattern with only 3 techniques and 2 stances. Dangun. The second pattern practiced in ITF Taekwondo is Dangun, with 21 movements and an I-shaped diagram A, B, C, D, E, and F. Dangun is named after the Holy Dangun, the legendary founder of Korea in the year 2333 BC. We previously learned when learning about Chon-Ji that Dangun founded Korea at Chon-Ji, a lake in northern Korea, before creating the capital Asadal, now Pyongyang, in the year 2333 BC. Dangun is a simple pattern, but its history and trivia is complex and based in legends. The yellow belt earned after learning Dangun signifies the earth from which the plant sprouts and takes root as the foundation of Taekwondo is being laid. Dosan. The third pattern for ITF Taekwondo is Dosan for Setnikup. Dosan is the pseudonym of the patriot An Chang-ho, who lived from 1876 to 1938. The 24 movements represent his entire life, which he devoted to furthering the education of Korea and its independence movement. 24 movements are symbolic of Dosan committing 24 hours every day to his goals. Dosan established the Young Korean Academy and the New Korean Society, and also helped found the provisional government of the Republic of Korea. Dosan adds new complexity to the practitioner's skills, with step turns, fast motions, and a releasing motion. Won-Hyo. With Won-Hyo as the fourth pattern in ITF Taekwondo, we see the return of the I-shaped diagram A, B, C, D, E, and F. Won-Hyo was the noted monk who introduced Buddhism to the Silla dynasty in the year 686 AD. The Silla dynasty was one of the 3 kingdoms of Korea, concentrated in the east of the peninsula. Won-Hyo is the first pattern to not begin in ready parallel stance, but instead in closed stance A. The cupped fist is at the piltron level, just below the nose, 30 centimeters from the face. The green belt earned after learning Won-Hyo symbolizes the plant's growth as the practitioner develops from a beginner to a committed student. Yul-Gok. The fifth pattern in ITF Taekwondo is Yul-Gok. Yul-Gok is the first pattern with the scholar diagram A, B, C, D, E, and F. Yul-Gok is the pseudonym of the great philosopher and teacher E the First, who lived from 1536 to 1584. He was nicknamed the Confucius of Korea, and the 38 movements in this pattern refer to his birthplace on the 38th latitude. Yul-Gok was a child prodigy in writing and literature and is now depicted on the South Korean 5,000 won note. Yul-Gok is a pattern which stands out for its far more tactical and precise movements than other patterns before it, whilst having the most moves in any color belt pattern. Joong-Gun. Joong-Gun is the sixth pattern in ITF Taekwondo for 4th cup, once again with the I-shaped diagram A, B, C, D, E, and F. Joong-Gun is named after the patriot An Joong-Gun, who assassinated Hirobumi Ito, the first Japanese Governor-General of Korea and the first Prime Minister of Japan. Hirobumi Ito is known as the man who played a leading part in the Korea-Japan merger. There are 32 movements in this pattern to represent An's age when he was executed in Lishuing prison in 1910. An was highly educated and spoke Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Russian, and French. Joong-Gun, like Won-Hyo, starts in a closed stance, and the cupped fists are 15 centimeters from the navel. Learning Joong-Gun introduces new stances and techniques, which the student can start to use to develop their own one-step sparring. Toi-Gye. The seventh pattern for ITF Taekwondo is Toi-Gye. Toi-Gye is the pen name of the noted scholar Yi Hwang, an authority on Neo-Confucianism. The 37 movements of this pattern refer to his birthplace on the 37th latitude, similarly to Yul-Gok. We also see the return of the scholar diagram from Yul-Gok, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Yi Hwang is considered the most important philosopher of Korea and is depicted on the 1000 South Korean won note. Toi-Gye also begins in a closed stance B, with the cupped fist being 15 centimeters from the navel. Toi-Gye is the most complex color belt pattern with a wide variety of motions and techniques such as fingertip thrusts, knees, and pushing and pressing blocks. Hwa-Rang. Hwa-Rang is the second last colour bell pattern in ITF Taekwondo. Hwa-Rang has the I-shaped diagram A, B, C, D, E, and F. Hwa-Rang is named after the Hwa-Rang youth group that originated in the Silla dynasty in the early 7th century. The 29th movements refer to the 29th Infantry Division, where Taekwondo develops into maturity. Hwa-Rang starts in close stance C. The left finger belly covers the right fingers and is 10 centimeters from the abdomen. The red belt signifies not just a warning for the opponent to stay away, but also a caution to the student to exercise control. Choong-Moo. Choong-Moo is the final colour bell pattern in ITF Taekwondo. We also have the last appearance of the I-shaped diagram A, B, C, D, E, and F. Choong-Moo was the name given to the great admiral Yi Sung-sin of the Yi dynasty. He was reputed to have invented the first armoured battleship Kobusan in 1952. The reason why this pattern ends in a left-hand attack is to symbolise his regrettable death, having no chance to show his unrestrained potentiality, checked by his forced reservation of his loyalty to the king. What that means is Yi was one of the greatest admirals in history, rivaling Horatio Nelson. He never once lost a battle, but had much more potential which he could never use because of mistrust from his king. Choong-Moo is the last colour bell pattern and the gateway to obtaining your black belt. The black belt symbolises maturity and proficiency in Taekwondo and the wearer's impervious to darkness and fear. You can read more about each ITF Taekwondo pattern and more in the TKD Study app.